Hey class, September 17th here, Thursday. Wanted to go over a little bit of what we've been doing in math, talking about the prime factors and going into common factors and greatest common factors. So, for example, when we're talking about prime factors, basically there's a way of looking at it. We call it the factor tree. So, for example, let's say we have the number 72. We've got to figure out, usually knowing our times tables, or guessing with our rules of divisibility. Now, those rules of divisibility were the following things. We want to ask ourselves, can we divide this number by 2? And that answer is yes. Because 2 goes into any number that ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And we ask ourselves, will it be divisible by 3? To find out if a number is divisible by 3, you take the digits of the number and you add them together. In this case, I've got 7 and 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? It is. So that means 72 is divisible by 3. 5 goes into any number that ends in 0 or 5. In this case, 5 will not go into it. And then the number 7, we have to go into it, but we know 7 goes into 7 one time, but 7 won't go into 2, so it's not divisible by 7. But we know it's divisible for 2 and 3, so that we know this number is composite. We know it's composite. So, we've got to think about what numbers make up 72. Well, knowing our times table, 72, I'm going to slide it over. 72 is made up of the numbers 8 and 9. Because 8 times 9 is 72. Those numbers are both composite. And because they're composite, we can break them down. We know 8 is 4 times 2, and 9 is 3 times 3. Now we're ready to look at these numbers. 3 is prime. Can't break it down anymore. So 3 is prime here. Then we have the number 2, that is prime. But the number 4 is still composite, and that can break down into 2 times 2. So now we have circled the prime factors of 72. And those numbers are a 2, a 2, a 2, a 3, and a 3. Now, we've been talking about when we get these numbers, instead of writing 2 3 times or 3 2 times, we can write them in exponential form. Exponents. I have a base number of 2. That number occurred 3 times because these numbers are multiplied times each other. These dots mean multiply. So for example, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And 24 times 3 is 72. They should all multiply to 72 because they are the prime factors of 72. So when I take a look at these numbers that are being multiplied, 2 is being multiplied times itself 3 times. So we call that 2 to the third power. That 3 is called an exponent. Then we're multiplying it times another base number, which is 3. That number is occurring twice. So we're going to say that's 3 squared, or 3 to the second power. So we have our numbers. We're finding out if they're prime or composite using our divisibility rules. We're breaking them down into the factor tree, getting them down to the prime numbers. All these numbers multiplied times each other should make your base number, your base composite number. Then when you get your little prime numbers, you can write them in exponential form with powers. And this is going to be important because pretty soon we're going to talk about the order of operations in something called PEMDAS. And PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, these are exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. But one thing at a time, getting these exponents. I hope this lesson helps.